Facebook. Are we live or something?
We are live once again.
Right, we are live on Facebook. Hey, everybody, especially on Facebook Live. Welcome to Escrow Tuesdays, where what could happen, Nari?
Anything and everything.
That's right, and usually something does. Anyway, we have an amazing guest today, and look at that. We have Michelle Joyeux. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You certainly did.
Woohoo!
It's not Joy X or Joy.
It's been pronounced as such before, and many other variations.
But I always wanted a EAUX in my name, Charles Swamberger. That's right. All right. Well, let's have a real live normal welcome. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
Hello and welcome to Escrow Tuesdays. This is Charles and my co-host Narhi Nguyen, and we are live on Facebook.
Look at that. What a great entry.
Woohoo!
All right. Enough of that. But anyway, hey, Michelle Joyeux from the Orlando chapter. Somewhere I visited once. I love the humidity. I didn't get to go to Disneyland, but we will discuss that later. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. How you doing, Michelle?
Great. Can't complain.
Yeah,
well, I could, but nobody's going to listen. So why bother?
Oh, no. We all love to complain. It's about compassion and caring and listening to each other, right, these days. So, wow, fantastic. Well, let's get started and just tell us a little bit about yourself, Michelle, the mystery woman that's not on social media like John.
Right.
Like they would call me out in the office. They call me a ghost. You know, I pop in, I disappear. My name doesn't show up on anywhere, and people always wonder what it is that I do. And when they get to find out, they're like, "Why aren't you advertising?" There's no reason to. I can't keep up with the traffic I have now. So
yeah. The best referral is word of mouth, right?
Exactly. I'm going to say one self-deprecating tagline, and it's going to end there. I say, and that's, from now that I'm 50 pounds heavier. I'm not pretty. I'm not very smart. I've got no money. I'm not sexy. So the only thing I have going for me is my reputation. So my reputation is what precedes me, and it's what's gotten me here. And all of my business, my biggest clients, actually, I just closed $125 million worth of deals with him, was through one recommendation that said, if you want anything done in Orlando, call this woman.
Give me some of that. Holy moly. I mean,
wow. That is excellent.
Yeah. Whatever you've got.
Man. So before you hit that $125 million mark, what were you before? Like, were you always in Orlando, or
I am bilingual. I'm from the Caribbean, and I grew up bi-coastal. So I grew up in the UK and St. Lucia, the beautiful island of St. Lucia, best in the Caribbean. And when I turned 18, I moved to Miami, and I've been in South Florida for 26 years total, in and out. But I lived in Europe. I actually I was with the State Department doing an internship. I remember I said, no, I want to go home. And so I was in the UK for a while. And then I moved to China a few years ago. Well, actually now many years ago. And they sent me back here to the States to work. And it was supposed to be a temporary assignment. I came to oversee the construction of a housing development project. And that was 8 years ago. I came for 3 months, and that was 8 years ago. So I miss it terribly. But now I had to get reacclimated to living in the States, and it is what it is. So I've lived on 3-4 continents. I love every minute of it. I love to travel, and
Where in China, Michelle, were you in specifically?
So I started out in Taiyuan in central in Shanxi province. And then when I got recruited by the firm that I just separated from, I started in the Hong Kong office, moved to Shenzhen, and then I ran the Shanghai office for a while before they sent me to the States.
Oh, wow.
And don't ask me how my Chinese is right now, because it's awful. I have no one to practice with.
Oh, well, yeah. If you don't practice it, you definitely do lose it. Wow. So that's so cool, just to be able to travel. Of course, boom. Last year, no one's going anywhere. I was actually in China September of 2019, 90 miles from Wuhan. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, can I just tear that piece of page off my passport?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Like, you were where, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was in Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Guangzhou in March 2019. Then I did the Dubai up close.
Oh, so you went to that one?
I most certainly did. And if you found any photos, that's where you'd have found them.
Maybe. No, I didn't look there. That's like, oh, shit. Did you take any camel rides?
I most certainly did. Yeah.
Maybe you were on there. Shoot.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to go do some looking up here. But,
you don't have to.
Anyway, no, we'll save that for later. But you know, there have been some people that were really involved in AREAA and some people that weren't involved as much in AREAA that went to that up close trip. And, you know, a lot of people I meet that like, do you know about AREAA? And they go, oh yeah, I went to the Dubai trip because there was 3 of them, right? So did you go to the very first one?
No, I went in March 2019. I think that was either the second or third.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was the second one. Yeah,
after the third one, they're like, all right, no more AREANs. All you guys do is come here and eat free food and go on camel rides and, you know, where's the real estate deals? But no, seriously, I just wish I would have went on one. And, you know, I think a good friend of mine, Brian you know, both me and him are like, shoot, we should have made the time to go. You know, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
It
really was. We actually made so many great relationships. And in fact, one of them, who we're actually doing a deal with him right now, he just awarded me a construction contract to do a housing development for him in Texas. Oh. So in Fort Hood, Texas. So we stayed friends. There was just great synergy. And now, if you guys won the last president's call last month,
we have to be on the last president.
AFMA, which is, you know, the lending institution I was introduced by Paul Mura. They're going to be doing the financing on that project, which, by the way, we have an event with them tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay. Plug. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, we will do all of that towards the end. So you started real estate at age 26?
Actually,
26 years?
I think so, because I started out in the manufacturing industry, food manufacturing, but I was an accountant, you know, a staff accountant. And when I came here to go to college, I started out in business, did a couple of those degrees, and then it turns out I was in property management. And then I got my real estate license when I was in property management. I transitioned to real estate and I was doing all the back office stuff. So I was actually the escrow agent for Sotheby's International in Miami. And I'll tell you a little story about that. But when I was in real estate, that's when I got my property management license. So I was looking online a couple of nights ago to refresh one of them, and I've had that license since 1999. You know, I was like, oh my God, how old am I? But anyway, I remember the last year we, you know, I was in an office maybe 6 feet by 3 feet, you know, it was like a coffin.
Hey, just like
this. That last year, I processed $1.1 billion worth of real estate.
What?
And you're talking about probably year 2000. Yeah, that's how much, you know, we had going on at the time. But it was wonderful. We did all the high-end stuff. You had to come through our company for the referral and an interview. And yeah, it was amazing. It's the kind of firm where they would send a masseuse to come to you and get your pedicures done at your desk. Yeah.
Nice. So you got experience from there and then you just moved forward, huh? So
yes. And then when I was in property management, I was always doing turnover construction. Okay. So as the contractors were leaving the site 90 days before the first TCO is issued, that's when I went in with my team and we used to put the projects online. So I was responsible for doing the first life cycle analysis of the project. So we did a legal, engineering, and financial audit. And we then handed over the project.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. So I moved around quite a bit. So I would do an average of, you know, 1 project per year, depending on the size, it would be 2. So I did that up and down the Miami coast to Fort Lauderdale. So all your higher end projects that you find in downtown Miami, Aventura, Sunny Isles Beach, Fort Lauderdale Beach, somehow or another, my finger might have been in one of those.
Wow.
Oh,
And that's when I decided to forgo the MBA and do a degree, a master's in construction management.
yeah. Hey, I only
Mm.
know one word in construction, LTC.
LTC.
Loan to
Oop.
cost. Yeah, that's all I know.
Loan to cost. You stumped Michelle there for us. I'm like, what?
I was like, lightweight concrete? What are you talking about?
Okay, that could be too. Yeah, this is more from I did some construction development lending brokerage for a few years, and boy, did I learn a lot. So that was amazing. Oops.
Disappeared on us, huh? There,
Yeah, what
Charles.
happened? Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I hit the stop video button. I got all excited, so.
I know. Talking about constructions, tell me about it. With all the what
It's
she's got
exciting.
under.
I love construction. I love what you could do with it. There's
Mm.
so many different applications and methods and products that actually we don't even have a clue what we're doing here sometimes. I'm in Florida, so we're supposed to be leading when it comes to technology so that we're hurricane resistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I always used to have this argument with my engineers. I'm from the Caribbean, so when we build something, we build it to last forever.
Yeah,
When I went to China, it was different. They said, no, this building is coming down in 50 years. There's no need for us to take care of it. That was the mentality over there. And then
I know exactly what you're talking about, Michelle. It's like,
yeah,
hey, isn't this building only a year and a half old? And you're looking down to hardwood floors, and they look like they have holes. And I'm like,
yeah.
cardboard or wood? Hey, real quickly, hey, if you guys are just joining us here, Charles Swarby and Nari Nguyen here at Escrow Tuesdays, and guess what we got? Rami Ramsey is watching us from Dubai. Might be from Connecticut, actually, but
No.
yeah, Sonny Chan is watching from San Francisco. Hey, he used to hang out at the Aventura Mall. Is that right, Sonny? Okay, wherever that.
No way.
Yeah, down in your neck of the woods. All right, so you're doing this development stuff. You got educated, and so how did you find AREAA, or did AREAA find you?
Oh,
amongst all the construction.
Yeah, it was the darndest thing. My firm that I worked for in China sent me here. So I think I got here President's Day weekend 2013.
Wow.
And I was completely homeless. There wasn't a hotel room available in the city. And the house that I thought was booked for me turned out it wasn't. So that was a little bit of a challenge, that landing here without a place to go. But I think it was a couple years later, I was at the Florida Real Estate Convention that we hold every summer. I think it's every August. And, just walking around, you're trying to get your feet wet. Before that, there was nothing that I could put my fingers on. And the firm kept after me. You've got to connect, with some local Asian groups. And I just couldn't find any for whatever reason. And walking through that fair, Florida Real Estate Convention, I came across a young lady, Monique Young, and then I said, "Oh my goodness, I've been looking for you guys," and that was it. I didn't become a member right away, but I certainly stayed on top of her, the mailing list, and then when I was ready, I joined. That was about a year or two later, and like they say, the rest is history. I've met so many great people since then. So many exciting things. You guys are doing things that most professional organizations wish they could just get onto their blueprint. They talk about it, but they don't actually execute. And that was the difference between AREAA and, quite a few of the other organizations that I had either been invited to join, asked to join, begged to join. I said, no, and I'm one of those people, I'm quite loyal. And when I make a decision to go somewhere, there are reasons behind that decision. And in this case, it was for connections, it was for professional development. And I thought I could give something back. Most of the developments I did here were projects that were sold, in China. And, you want those people. I always tell people, earning a client is such a difficult thing to do. So when you've earned that client's trust, all you want to do is to be able to keep that client, because it's much cheaper to keep that client than to go develop a new one if you've burnt this one. Because if
yeah.
you do well by this person, they're going to refer you 10 times over. And that's exactly what's happened to me in my business.
Well, we've got Winnie Davis from California that joined us saying hello. So yeah, that, I mean, it's great that you found us, you know, and is it Malik?
What was the young lady's name that you found?
Oh, Monique Young.
Yeah,
She
Monique.
was
Monique
Shoe
Young.
at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
And she stayed involved for a while, but, you know, everybody's business, you know, just
Sure.
everything's just booming. And so we all stay in touch. We're just afraid to make commitments because of the challenges and time management and all of that good stuff. But yeah, we definitely.
Well, so you finally joined as a member, you know,
Yeah.
and hanging around events and things. But I mean, there's a big step between hang around events, right? Hey, Dick Lee from Boston is watching. Hi, Dick Lee. Agnes Santos also is watching. Facebook Live. You know, it's I mean, you said you want to give back. We appreciate it. But, you know, there's only 42 chapter presidents at any given time out of 17,000 or so members. So who sat you down? Did you just say, I want to be president? I seriously doubt that. You know, you're more of a humble kind of, you know, worker bee that likes to give back. So was there a point where, okay, now I'm on the board, because you were the treasurer, right? At one point at the Orlando chapter. And so how did that journey, I mean, who sat you down and got you to drink that Kool-Aid of AREAA?
Well, we, like some of the other chapters, I'm sure we suffered a few challenges with our leadership. And I think that's when the idea came in to stack the bench, so to speak. We had some health issues within our organization, which forced people to take a step aside, and then the next person comes in and another issue. And, you know, I finally said, you know what, I can do this. I'm ready to do this. But that was about 3-4 years ago. And I was not fortunate. And then, you know, I picked up the phone to call our dear Ken Pierce. And I said, you know what, Ken, if you would support me in terms of giving me that guidance that I need, and that leadership, I would be more than happy to take over. I think by that time, the decision was made to have Scott in. So I decided to bide my time and basically to learn in the meantime. But I thought that I could have brought tremendous value to AREAA. I think that there seems to be some sort of disconnect with how we advertise. And so I said, I think I can find ways around this. Unfortunately, I have been around for about 6 months now. And I don't know if it's the challenges with COVID and just the way things are going right now, business-wise. We haven't quite overcome that one issue. What I have found is when we partner with other organizations, we tend to get a lot more traction. So, and that's what I did in the past. What I would do is when I have an event with my company, I would say that it's being co-sponsored or co-hosted, you know, with AREAA, just to give us that additional advertising that we sorely needed.
Wow. So can we credit Ken Pierce for just getting you to like, all right, Michelle.
Yes, I don't know if he's going to say that, but yes, Ken has always been very supportive. We had some great leaders. Gloria, who's always ever so present, and she's now an advisor with us. Maria Grulich, always so gracious. You know, Scott. You know, Scott's been amazing.
Is it okay to mention his name in this group?
Who's that?
Just kidding.
You know, Estefania was our treasurer. She was amazing. She moved back to South America. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but she put on some amazing events. We would have, and that was her thing. She put on a power networking event, and she'd come around with her little bell, you know, so everybody got to talk to everybody, whether you were this big developer or you were, you know, a lowly real estate person selling your first deal. You had an opportunity to interact with everybody. And it was just such a fun event. When she did an event, it was just amazing. So we tend to do these things. I'm always about education. So I love doing those events that you get to take something away from it. And so I personally believe if I give value to you, you're going to say, you know what, darn it, that Michelle, she's always putting stuff in front of me that I can't say no to.
Oh,
That's what I'm looking for. He's gonna say, you know what,
kind of leaders
Michelle,
we
he just
like,
does
you know,
something
people
well.
with influence and people that just you can't say no to. You know?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what's our next segment, Nari?
Oh boy. So I heard that there was a crazy story that was in the media. Yes,
Oh, good
Michelle?
God.
Oh
Ew.
yeah. So
Well,
tell us.
that's not an AREAA story.
Oh no, is it a
No.
real estate related?
Yeah, it's gotta be any
Yeah.
story, yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Oh no. Wow. We actually do make the paper quite often. This was the only
Are you talking about
negative one.
Scott or are you talking about yourself?
No, well, one of the firms that I consult
Right.
for. I work with a group and we do a lot of multifamily acquisitions. So that's the other part of what it is that I do. And we're constantly in Growth Spotter, the Orlando Business Journal, because what we've done is we actually started the trend where we took in our segment of the market where we would buy hotels and convert them into long-term apartments. So
Right.
that's what takes up most of my time. So last month, no, I think it was March, height of spring season. Yeah, spring break. We went to close on a deal. Now, mind you, it's a deal that had been extended beyond its life expectancy for many, many months. And so when we went to close, I guess the seller did not expect us to close. And
Really?
it was scheduled to close.
With Michelle on the deal? Come on.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, you're waiting for funds to hit every account to come over from all over the world. And he basically said, I've got no confidence in you people closing. And so I'm going to continue running my business the way, because it's a lot of revenue, especially now we had opened up. And so basically every hotel in the Orlando Kissimmee area had been booked and oversold, I think, from end of March into middle of April.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, that was, I think, right around Easter weekend as well. So everything is just chock full. So the closing took place, funds are transferred. So actually during that time, we said, you know what, since you're having such a busy time, why don't we extend the closing another week or two? Let the spring break die down. And he said no. Okay, so we assumed he made the proper arrangements. So we went to pick up the keys, and we're picking up, keys to an empty project, and turns out everybody was there in the pool, hanging out, going in and out of Disney, and we have no insurance effective midnight that night to cover the people who were there. It was not a pleasant situation. But when he said, let's move ahead with the closing, we thought that we were under the impression he had made the necessary arrangements. And so at now closing took place at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. We went to pick up the keys at 3. And just imagine what was going on. By that time, the news cameras were there and we were the big bad developers throwing everybody out, which was not the case. And at 7 o'clock, we got a phone call saying, can you guys help us relocate these people? Because by midnight, our insurance, we already had demolition permits. So
demo.
Yeah. It wasn't a good place to be in, through no fault of our own. But these are just one of those things that you don't anticipate,
Wow, that is anything and everything.
Yeah, you're talking about a 436 key hotel, which was oversold. So you're talking about maybe an average of about 3-4 heartbeats per room. Yeah, it was a lot.
My goodness.
For sharing that story. Yeah. I mean, as real estate practitioners, we know when stuff like that happens, it's not as, obvious as like, someone leaves the refrigerator water supply on after they move the refrigerator. A week later, you come back, there's like 6 inches of water in the living room, after your final one, you're like, whoops. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for sharing the show. All right. So let me change a few things here, but thank you again. What can happen in escrow, Nari?
Anything and everything. Thanks, Michelle. You're still
get
here.
in trouble for that one, aren't I?
No. Oh, there we go.
Whoops.
Starting up the show.
Wow.
I can't
Yeah.
see everything there, Michelle. Can't give it all away in one spot.
Can't give it away.
Anyway, there we are. That is. Oh, whoops. What was that all about? Let's see here. What we could find. All right, you have to confirm. All right, so that is. I kind of stylized this photo a little bit, so it's
Oh, wow.
a little more psychedelic here, but greater
Well, that reflection doesn't match what's going on in that picture.
Well, then we get a little more social, right? And we've got a little bit of here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
How did you get your hands on these?
Oh, yeah. No, we did some. We have, what was that department, Nari? We have the crack department that does stuff. Right? Yeah.
The crack department.
That's right.
In success. There we go.
All right.
Oh, wow.
And then, so you're going to share the top 5 greater Orlando attractions, and we'll just kind of share together, so to speak, I guess,
Okay.
if you don't mind, and we'll just go through this and see what we've got. So, number 1. Gee, I guess I kind of gave it away right there, huh?
Do you know right now I'm sitting exactly 2.4 miles from that location?
Oh, so you
why
can.
I
Oh well.
Yeah, 2.5.
How did you do that?
I've got you geo-tracked. How's that? So that is kind of Lego. I mean, I've never been to Legoland. I played with plenty of Legos. I stepped on plenty of Legos with my bare feet, but what is it about Florida's Legoland that brings so many people there?
I'm asking myself the same question, to be honest. I have never been to Legoland.
Mm.
It's on the water from the Old Cypress Gardens theme park. So we're able to go out on the boat or the jet ski and, kind of peek and see what's going on back there. But I've never been to the park. But from what I understand, they love it. In fact, I just read in the paper that they're expanding again. And I think that's like the third one they've done. But I don't know. I guess it's entertaining to kids. Well, I remember being a child and loving to play with Legos because I loved building houses way back then.
Right.
But
right. Yeah, you're building stuff, right?
Yeah.
So factoid, I believe I'm correct in this one, but Nari, another opportunity to give back to the AREAA Foundation with a donation. If Michelle, you guess what country Legos originated from?
It's one of the Scandinavian countries, isn't it?
Indeed, and I am half of that Scandinavian breed.
I know this. I read it all the time.
All right.
It's not Sweden.
It is.
Oh
no. So does that count? She said the
I
answer.
Discounted my answer, right?
Well, how you should answer next time is Sweden, and then I'll go yes, and then because Sweden is probably not the answer. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll give out some sort of donation. We're probably behind in a few donations, Mary. But
does that mean you cut my donation in half?
Yeah.
No. No, I usually try to stump like a guest speaker or whatever, and I'll donate if you know this question. And if the presenter doesn't know it, I'll even up it a little bit. All right, that's okay. Let's go to the next one here. And wow, they are sideways near the water. It could be only one thing, right? SeaWorld. And
SeaWorld, yeah.
What's going on with SeaWorld lately? I mean, they've had to cut back. Everyone started saying you can't keep killer whales in swimming pools and all this stuff, and had a few accidents. But how's it going there? So is it still rocking and rolling?
As far as I heard, yes. In fact, they had a couple live events this past weekend.
Finally.
Or the last couple of weeks, some shows, and they're rocking it over there.
That's good.
Last time I went maybe was 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Maybe 4 years ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another interesting one. Only in Florida, of course.
That looks like my backyard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, what are my pair of shoes doing there? Nari, why is your Birkin bag crawling on the grass? All right. Yeah. Well, that is Gatorland. What the heck is that? You could go and just hang out with gators?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to invite you to my house. Ooh. I've got a house. I've got one of my houses is on Lake Apopka, the 4th largest lake in Florida. Okay. And I swear they're constantly sunbathing on my boat.
Really?
It's literally right there.
They like put their towel on the chair early in the morning. Like
Yeah,
German
you know, I
tourists.
gotta bring them margaritas and
Oh, okay. Sorry, German tourists. I didn't mean that.
Oh my.
Hey, Nancy Obando from Los Angeles area is watching. Nancy, hey, you're learning all about Gatorland. But yeah, if you want to just hang out with Michelle, you know, and watch some sunbathe, I guess, you know, some people go to clothing optional beaches to watch sunbathers.
you go to Gator optional beach.
Girl, Gator optional. All right. I don't know this one, but I guess one of, you know, so many beaches, right? Beautiful beaches in Florida. I mean, it's so aquatic over there. And I guess how
Not like
famous
Daytona
is,
Beach.
or
Oh,
how
Cocoa
famous is Cocoa Beach?
Very.
Okay. Where is it up there? Is it more than Daytona? Not as much as others?
I think it depends on the crowd you're looking to attract, because Daytona Beach is a destination in itself with the NASCAR,
Right, in the cars
and they
stuff.
do the biker bits. They have all these conventions out there.
Right.
So Cocoa Beach, is different, but still popular in its own right.
Right. And you
I think my
probably
last trip there might have been 3 years ago.
did your Harley break down on the way there? Or you good?
Oh, good God. No, my significant other got one and he had it for about 6 weeks and said, get that crap out of here, you know.
Really? Really?
Well, I was just so
was it you that
afraid.
said that, or was it
Oh,
him?
you were afraid.
No, you know what it is? I was just afraid he was going to get hurt or I was going to
Yeah.
get hurt, and I just couldn't take the chance. It's like, nope. We
Yeah,
have enough excitement going on already.
I hear you. I get it. All right. And then, gee, what place couldn't we leave out without going
Right.
to Orlando?
Oh my God,
A
that's
landmark.
Yeah,
Who
one
would
of
have
my
known
other
I would have picked that,
locations.
right? I mean,
Woohoo! Yeah.
so is it what it's cracked up? Have you ever been to Disneyland in Los Angeles? Or Anaheim?
No, actually,
Oh.
I have not been to the West Coast. I did a transit flight. I never left LAX. I think it was LAX or San Francisco. And no, I have not set foot in California
Well, that could change.
because nobody's invited me yet.
Well,
What?
all right. So here you go, Michelle. You have been invited to obviously the installation Tim Her, and of course going away national convention in San Francisco this year. So we expect you there. It's going to be on October, was it 7th or 8th or 7th
Yeah.
to 9th, I believe.
7th to 9th, yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So we expect you to
Write that down, Michelle.
Okay.
Write that
Wikipedia
down.
after this,
Going to
and you will definitely have to kind of do that thing over there. All righty. Well, thank you very much. And, you know, the next segment is always my favorite segment, Ari.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh. Now I'm really nervous, you know.
No, it is Escrow Tuesday's surprise guest. You know, I mean, we've had a number of interesting things on this show, wouldn't you say, Nari? But, you know, we always try to predict. We never know. Sometimes we hit it right on. Sometimes you're like going, I don't know what you're talking about. But we all know, Michelle, that you have a Disney obsession. I know you were trying to hide it. You know, I know you said you didn't go on the West Coast, but we do know that you have a Disney obsession. So let's move forward to this obsession and see how obsessed you really are. And of course, we're not going to surprise you with that, but let's take it a more intellectual route, shall we, Michelle?
Psychologically, let's see.
Okay, psychologically speaking. All right. We are going to do this, and that is, let's see. Should we get what music? All right, we'll do
Boom, boom.
top 5 Disney princess issues. You know, being a princess in the world of Disney has a price, right?
Yeah, not easy.
Yeah, a lot of pressure built up. So
I can feel the pressure now.
Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you some famous Disney characters, and you have to name the character is gonna be easy, but name the possible. What would you call it, Nari?
Psychological issues.
Yeah, that they might possibly have, right? All right, here we go. Number 1,
Oh, wow.
Who is that?
Snow White.
Ooh,
Ah,
see,
okay, yeah,
she
we
knows
know
her
who-
character.
That's the extent of my knowledge base.
All right, well, that obviously Snow White, but did you know what she suffered?
Yeah,
If there's anything, there she is sweeping and cleaning. I mean, she actually
always cleaning.
That's right. She actually had OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. If you go
Okay.
back and watch all her shows, she's always cleaning and doing this and that. Oh yeah, I just yeah, crazy. And if you saw her shoe collection, it's perfect. There's that one missing slipper. So when that one missing slipper is just going nuts. It's like it's just going crazy. I think that's kind of started it, Nari, when she lost that slipper. Like, oh, where is it? All right. Number 4. And who is this person? Kind of
Oh
hard.
dear, Cinderella.
Wow.
Bingo.
There you go, Cinderella.
Woohoo.
But did you know that Cinderella had a certain complex, and that was called trauma, I guess, complex PSTD. I mean,
PTSD.
yeah,
Mhm.
she did that. I don't want to
I
really,
can see that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it gets a little wilder now as we go down the list here. And that is, who is this person here?
Don't tell me. Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah, I believe that's the Dormouse, or I can't. It's
I
well,
don't know.
that is
Oh,
Alice.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Ella Enchanted. That's it. Which is not a Disney.
Right.
Is it?
No, that's Alice in
It's-
Wonderland. It was Alice.
Ah,
But Alice, actually, think about all that was happening in Alice in Wonderland. I mean, she had to be suffering from schizophrenia, right? Which is,
Yeah, she was in like 2-3 different worlds. I mean, it
Yeah.
was
poor
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. The Mad Hatter, and so she was in, what do they call it? A lot of people mistake schizophrenia, Naria, right, for multiple personalities, but it's actually just you're just out of touch with reality, which was
Mhm.
basically
Well,
that.
who could blame her considering all of these realms that she was living in
Yeah, no
simultaneously?
kidding. All right,
Mhm.
number 2. Gee, they all kind of look the same, no?
Who's that?
All right, who is that?
I don't know. Sleeping Beauty?
Very good,
Ooh.
very good. And Sleeping
Oh.
Beauty had this thing. What do they call this, Nari? I can't even pronounce it.
Maladaptive daydreaming.
Yeah, where she would just, just daydream that's, some ridiculous story that she kissed some frog and, things would come to life,
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh gosh. All right. And here we have the final one. And I don't know if it's arguably the most popular character, but all right, this person here, any ideas?
Jasmine?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or is it, maybe I kind of got it messed up, right? That's Jasmine. And
That's Jasmine. And I think, is that Pocahontas?
yeah. And so, but Pocahontas, and they both kind of suffered from this. And that was depression because they're always lashing out, and kind of like,
No, they're just
me.
feisty. That's all.
Yeah.
They're just mean.
Yeah.
They're
How
feisty.
dare you?
No, they're feisty.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, they were definitely feisty. So anyway, hey.
And it's
Thank
like, hurry
you.
up, keep up with us,
Yeah, exactly.
We have to slow down for you now.
All right. Well, thank you very much for
Oh, wow. She's got
surviving
like
the
4 out of
expectation.
5.
Yeah, no kidding. And look, we found another photo of her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at that, hanging out with whatever that guy is.
Yeah, what is that? Like
GOBA, the
a
Greater
robot.
Orlando Builders Association, they never invite anybody outside of their little club.
Hmm.
And the only real estate firm invited to their award ceremony. And
Oh,
that was that event, I think, 2 years ago.
wow. Hey, Karen
Oh,
Park from
exciting.
Northern New Jersey chapter is watching and saying hello. By the way, she's going to make
Hiya.
it to the West Coast, I hear, going to come out here and visit. So anyway, thank you so much. Hey, the next segment we have, let's see, what do we have here?
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, we have the guest shameless plug, or what else do you do, Nari?
Take it away, Michelle. Give us your 30-second elevator pitch.
Wow. What am I supposed to say? I don't know who my
I'm
audience
standing in
is.
front of you in the elevator,
Yeah.
and you're going to say,
"Hi, how are you doing today?" That's it. I don't have anything else. If I were pitching somebody something, let's see. Oh, well, I do have a construction company called Innova International Developers. And right now we're building in the Caribbean, and we just signed contracts in Ghana, Equatorial Guinea, and Burkina Faso. So we're getting ready to move over there. We've got a small housing development or apartment complex, I think we're taking off the ground for the Bahamian government and the University of Miami with direct relief. That's scheduled to start next month, actually. And we've been asked to do projects. Actually, I was on the phone with the head of the CIBC Bank for the OECS. So yeah, we do a lot of government projects, and we're also looking to deploy our housing keep program here in the US. So you could actually buy a house from our website, and we could send it to you, and you could put it together yourself like Legos. Or we could send you a contractor to do that. We would help you out along the way. So
sold.
Wow. Thank you very much. Well, there you go. Be careful who you step into an elevator with, right?
I know.
All right. Hey, so when you're watching this after we upload this up on YouTube, hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and whatever. We're probably easily 1 million short from, the goal that we have, right? So another thing that I might mention, as you know, what month is it, Michelle?
May.
That's right. It is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Anything going on in Florida that we should know about here? I know you guys have some upcoming events that you might want to plug.
We most certainly do. We have a joint event. So this environment for the past year has forced us to be creative. So in Florida, we have decided to consolidate our resources. And so we have a virtual event. I think it is the 25th. And it will be at 4:30 p.m. and it's for AAPI month. We've got, I believe, a local Korean chaplain who's also a published author and poet. So he will be sharing his wisdoms, pearls of wisdoms with us and stories. And it's supposed to be
sounds great.
Very insightful event, I think. If you're like me and you cherish other people's experiences in terms of how you could learn from it. So yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to it. And I would say all the credit goes to our favorite Joyeux from Greater Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I heard you're partnering up with the West Coast here too.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that part. On the same day? I know it's also the day that we have the commercial coffee series. And we also had an education event planned about, real estate and probate. So we've had to move that because it just seems to be a super busy day. So we're going to move that to June. Yeah.
Wow, I'm excited.
All right. Well, guess what else is coming up? That's right. Any ideas on who this face of AREAA is?
No.
All right. Well, that is Agnes Santos from the Inland Empire, where the industrial commercial real estate segment is.
Hi, Agnes. I am so sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. Then we
I was afraid it was going to be Han. She's tough. She's going to murder me.
She'll beat you up if she sees you in person.
I know.
All right. And that is Milena from Sacramento will be there. And also, what else have we got here? I believe we have
one more.
Who is this guy? A guy again.
Wow, that's our third guy.
Yeah, well, no, we've had more than that, but recently,
really?
Because of Amy Kong's amazing, leadership, it's just been really tough to find. So, yeah, so we got Greg Christensen with 2 G's. Also incredibly elusive there, Michelle. He's hard to find, although he told me to look on LinkedIn.
Okay.
That's where he kind of puts his stuff there. So, wow.
Yeah, I think I've seen him in a couple of the meetings.
Oh yeah, no, you'll see pretty much everything there. So, all righty. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. We couldn't really find a whole lot of stuff together, so we had to kind of make do with what we could do. I gained a few pounds in COVID. Nari kind of sporting a nice little
Oh, Nari.
of course, your next event here. Wearing a nice jacket there, but there's Ken Pierce, and look at Scott. Scott, you're okay right there? You're kind of yeah. There's Julie back there, and a whole host of great, amazing people. But hey, thank you so much for joining us, Michelle. What an incredible honor to have. Let's pipe that music back up. And man, we got to make it back out to Orlando, but then Michelle, you've got to make it out to the West Coast.
That's true. Well, we have an amazing event planned. Since there was no luxury event this year, we figured we'll do our own. So you never know, that might be coming down your inbox pretty soon.
Ooh.
All right. Well, we expect to hear it. Any last words or words of encouragement, Michelle? Why come to Orlando and join AREAA Orlando chapter?
Well, why do you come to Orlando, period, is because guess what? The value of my real estate here just kind of like beats you guys hands down. So you could buy a palace here for what you could buy 1 square foot over there,
But is it starting to get to the point where not so much, right? I mean, you got no estate tax, but
yeah, it's rapidly going up. I mean, faster than I anticipated, and but I'm not going to complain. Like I said, nobody listens to a complainer. And why join AREAA Orlando is because of everything value-wise that we could bring to you. Just a 20-second story, and just goes to show you that 6 degrees of separation. I met Victoria Felix at the leadership convention in Dallas.
We had her on our show a few episodes ago. Yep.
And she then we met again up in Boston, and we've been in touch. There was just great synergy. And my daughter, who's doing a master's in globalization, and she wants to single-handedly fight human trafficking, her husband is involved in that field. So next thing you know, my daughter gets an internship that's being spearheaded by a group in India, and boom. I mean, who would have thought that, right? Nobody in a million years. So there's just so much opportunity and potential. You get an opportunity to meet great people and get access to great product that you wouldn't normally get access to be honest. Yeah.
All right. Well, for anybody watching this show or even watching it on YouTube, if you've got anything in Florida, especially around that Orlando area, you now know who to contact. That person right there, Michelle Joyeux.
And then if I can't help you, I'll definitely direct you to somebody who will.
That's absolutely right. That commercial mindset, if it doesn't fit in my box, we'll find somebody to take care of it. But that's so important. So, and hey, in Southern California, there's any kind of escrow and title issue that you guys need to deal with to take care of are open. My co-host, Nari Nguyen, I forgot your role. And then if you guys have anything in Los Angeles area or California for that matter that you need help or advice in that you need me to connect with, that would be me.
Charles.
All dramatic with all of the sound effects.
I know. I'm going to do something with it, but anyway. Oh, I forgot.
That's two.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to say don't go anywhere, Michelle, but we're going to switch off here live. But again, thank you, everyone, for joining Escrow Tuesdays. See you guys next week on our show.
Woohoo!